Hello. This is not timing well. Okay. Did it catch up with me? Looks like there's a little bit of a delay. Well, we'll give it a try anyway. Mary Baxter, calling you or recording this at my house, obviously. But that's the nature of online classes, especially in the summertime. So I'm going to take you through the syllabus and the actual website for the course, and hopefully explain everything you need to know about how the course is set up, etc. Okay, so let me share screen with you for the syllabus first, if I can do it. I think I need to open it first. Hold on. Doesn't like organization. Okay, here we go. Let me come back here. All right, syllabus. So in Canvas, you should be able to find the tile, the dashboard tile for this course. As of 6 o'clock Sunday night on what is today, the 4th, I published the course. And so it should be visible to everybody now. So in that, when you go into the course, the very first module that you're going to see is the course information module. And in that course information module is the syllabus here, plus 2 Excel files that have calendars type format for one, the web surfing projects and the course content quizzes, and two, for the mini projects that you will need to do throughout the 6-week term. So let's get into the content here in the syllabus. And again, I want to emphasize here that you need to try your best, if you have any problems at all, to use my cell phone number. I will have my phone with me, just like everyone does. And when you text me, especially if you just need like a 24-hour extension on some kind of a deadline, I can respond pretty much all the time right away. There might be times when I can't respond, like Wednesdays in the evening. I have a volunteer gig that I do that I can't have my phone with me. But other than that, I will, if I don't have my phone with me right away, I'll check as soon as I get it again, so that if you have texted me asking me for an extension, I can do it immediately. My regular email for the U of O is my very last choice for you to use. And I've noticed that for some reason I've got a weird ending to that NOTI obviously is not. I'll change it so that it's correct on the syllabus that's posted into Canvas. Okay, so please text or call me if you need help about something. I'm not really good about checking my Canvas messages, although I may remember to do that, and I'm horrible about remembering to check my email. So please, if it's a long, if you have something going on in your life that means you cannot participate in the course for like a week, then if you want to email me that very long explanation, that's great. But please text me and say, please look for my email. And if I know that I've got an email from somebody that's telling me something I really need to know, then I'll go in and I'll look for it. Please use my cell phone. I'm going to hold Zoom office hours, and the Zoom meeting information is already on the Canvas site for the course. From noon to 1, I'll be there on Mondays, and from Wednesday 3 to 4. I'll be there at that particular Zoom meeting. Okay. If those times don't work for you, because I just have to put down something, I never know what's going to work. You can always let me know via text, hey, can we Zoom meeting at another time? Or if you wanted to actually talk face to face like that, or you could just call me. Please. Pretty much 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., 7 days a week, with that proviso about Wednesday nights. Can't do it between 6 and 10. But other than that, now I will say that for the next 2 weeks, so the first 2 weeks of your course, the next 2 weeks, I am teaching at Lane an in-seat class. And so from 9 to noon, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm in class. So if you text me during that time, I would have to wait until noon in order to be able to, or a break in the class in order to be able to talk back with you. But in the afternoons and early and the evenings till 9 on most days, fine. Or all the other days except for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Okay. So this course covers the full gamut of information you can have about oceans. It covers the biological, the physical, the chemical, the geological, and the geographical aspects of our world's oceans. And so to achieve this, we have to touch on a lot of different subjects, including plate tectonics theory, marine biology, and climatology, just to name a few. The course will consist of 13 mini projects that you're going to do through the 6 weeks, 6 quiz exams, which are all these are where you put in your answers on Moodle. Canvas. Lane uses Moodle. And then there's 4 web surfing projects that are, I'll talk more detail about them when I kind of come across them down here later in the syllabus. To be sure you thoroughly review the syllabus, I'll be posting a syllabus quiz the first part of week 1. In fact, the worksheet is already posted. And then the window to put in your answers opens on Wednesday, I believe, and you have through next Monday, the 12th, to take that syllabus quiz. So please do. Okay. Our grading. That syllabus quiz you're going to take is worth 4 out of the 100 term points. Each weekly content quiz you take just packages of content. That quiz is only about that package of content, and you won't be asked about it again unless it's again used in, talked about in lecture another time. There's 6 of them. Each of them are worth 9 points, so a total of 54 points. So that's over half your grade is the course content quizzes. And yet I've tried to make them as logical and as clearly done in a good manner as possible, and I'll talk about that. There's 4 web surfing projects at 5 points apiece, so that adds up to 20 points. And then those 13 mini projects that are sprinkled through all 6 weeks add up to 22 points, and that's a total of 100 points. There is no required textbook for this course. However, there is a physical oceanography textbook available to you as an open resource book. It is written by someone who knows all about that, and so it's, like I said, it's kind of thick. But if you wanted to know more about physical oceanography, like how currents work and how waves work and that kind of thing, I'm sure that Dr. Stewart has talked about it in this book. And then I have a couple of websites here for supplementary material on marine life. There is so much, though. I mean, you could probably find a used textbook at the used bookstore, maybe one of the St. Vinny's or Smith Family. I'm not saying you have to shop there, but if you wanted to know more, you could find publications. There's probably more open resource online. There's more, Amazon probably has, it's out there if you want to find it. But all I'm going to require you to know for my purposes is what, the amount of information that I give you in the lecture notes. Okay. So speaking of lecture notes and handouts, there will be Canvas postings of lecture notes, study sheets for note taking, and what that is it's a online document that you can type in on your computer, or you can print it off and do it by hand. but it's a note-taking guide for you for when you listen and watch the PowerPoint lecture notes that I have. All those PowerPoint lecture notes have audio that I have gone in and put in on the slides. If I refer to anything about this year, this term, please take it in advisement that I made those audio recordings a while ago, right? I've started doing that when we went all online during the pandemic. So if I say something about this term or this year or something, that's because I was talking to the students at that time, and I'm sorry, it was a lot of work, so I have not re-recorded. It's the same recordings that I did back when I first needed to do them. But I'm hoping that that will be like I'm lecturing to you in a lecture hall, and it might be a little bit easier to absorb the information if that is the case. Those study sheets for note taking are simply for you to use if you want to use them while you are watching and listening to, or looking at listening to the PowerPoint lectures. Okay. You don't have to use them if you don't want to, but they are posted with the lecture notes. And I believe I always put the lecture notes on in PDF format as well. Okay. Also on Canvas are the web surfing project worksheets. These are question lists for those projects, question worksheets for the quizzes themselves, the mini project worksheets, and there might be a few extra readings and maybe extra credit projects that I would post there in Canvas. So again, I said, I made these audio editions several years ago. So if there's any kind of weird that I say different, always check the current syllabus to say what it says about deadlines and what I expect out of you and everything like that. Okay. Now you can move through this material as fast as you like. Everything opens for submission as of Tuesday, August 6th. But there's very, deadlines. The first week's worth of stuff has a deadline in either week 1 or week 2. Okay. Week 2's material for lectures has a deadline within either that week or week 3. So deadlines are solid. I mean, like, I can give a 24-hour extension perhaps, so maybe you had to work one night that you thought you were going to be able to do the quiz, something like that, which you can text me about and I can do that extension. But don't let it be the 5th week before you let me know that you're having problems and that you have missed over half the work. You've missed the deadlines on over half the work. That no, it's too much information for you to be able to pick it up and do it. Like, okay. So need to keep up on the deadlines, pay attention by using the syllabus or those 2 Excel calendar sheets that had the deadlines for the quizzes, the web surfings, and the mini projects. Make yourself aware of when things are due, and don't wait until 2 hours before they're due to do them. Okay? Okay, so let's go into detail on the different things. Questions on quizzes and exams will be from, I call them quizzes, you might as well call them an exam, whatever you want to call it, will be from material and lecture notes and any extra readings or videos to watch that may be posted for that section, all of which are posted on Canvas. A question worksheet for each of the 6 content quiz exams will have generally between 40 and 45 questions. I think one of them I didn't do as many because I didn't have as much content. But out of that 40 to 45, okay, you're only going to be asked a certain percentage of them. So those question worksheets are all posted to Canvas in the appropriate weekly module. They're all available to you from the get-go as of Tuesday, August 6th. They're already there. Okay, in fact, I said Tuesday, August 6th, but that's when the actual submission site opens. The documents themselves are already there waiting for you. Okay. The submission site for you to enter your answers for the quizzes will all open on Canvas as of 6 p.m. on Tuesday, August 6th. Deadlines for completing these quiz submissions occur at 11:59 p.m. on the Tuesday after the material is posted in weekly modules, except the last one because Quiz 6 has to end on a Monday because I have to give your grades to DuckWeb by noon on Tuesday. So that one I gotta shorten it a day. But it's been open the entire 6 weeks. Okay, you have 3 attempts to get a perfect score on each quiz. So with each attempt you've already had your quiz worksheet. The quiz worksheet, the questions on it are in general in about the same order that you find the material in the lectures. You can go into those lectures with that quiz worksheet. If it's electronic on your computer, you can flip back and forth between the lectures and the worksheet, doing something like bolding or underlining or coloring over, like highlighting the answers that you find in the lectures that are correct for that question. And then once you get into the submission site, you have that worksheet that's already been marked up with all the right answers with you. Each attempt you take, the system will give you 36 random questions of those given on that question worksheet. So as the question is asked, you can say, okay, where's this in my question worksheet? Find the question. Ah, here's what the answers are. Go on to the next question. Look in a different part of the question worksheet for that one. So it'll take you a little bit of searching to find it on the question worksheet, but you've already looked for the right answers. Okay. So you do that for all the questions that are asked, the 36 that are asked, submit. Then you can look back and see which ones you did not get right or wrong. Any of them that you got right, great. If you get asked that question on a second attempt, then you'll know that your answer was correct and you can just put in the same answer again. On fill in the blanks and other questions, be really careful that you put in the same right answer again, because if you get in too much of a hurry, I've had people do misspellings or not answer all 3 of the 3 that are good. And then they wonder why they got it wrong. Well, it's because you didn't take the time to put the right answer in again. Okay, and especially the fill in the blanks are very literal. You make one letter or an extra space or something and it says it's wrong. So make sure you get your right answers in right second and third time around. If a question was not correct, you didn't get full credit for it. Well, if it's a multiple answer question, Canvas is kind of mean. Let's say that I wrote a question and it had 4 possible answers and 2 of them were the correct ones. Okay. So you answer 2 of them, one of which happens to be a good answer because it's correct, and the other one happens to be a bad answer because it's incorrect. The system will give you credit for the one you answered right, but then it will dock you for the one you put in that wasn't right and for the one you didn't put in that was right. So you'll end up with probably 0 for that question. Whatever, if you have less points coming to you than the full amount that question is worth, then you know that you need to go back to that section of the lecture notes and take another look and see if you can come up with a better either answer or set of answers for that question, in case you get it on a subsequent attempt. You might not. You have 3 attempts, where twice when you do your attempts, when you do your attempt, you could see, what did I get right? What did I get wrong? And you have from August 6th until the deadline for that quiz. Okay. So you should give yourself at least a week as you're going through for each of the quizzes, and give yourself enough time that you could maybe get in more than one attempt before the deadline hits at 11:59 p.m. on the Tuesday, or in the case of the 6th quiz, the Monday. Okay. Me giving you the question worksheet where you already know what you're going to get asked and you can look up all your answers, plus giving you more than one attempt, most of you will hopefully sail through this class and do really well. It's happened that way in the past and in other classes I've taught where I have this kind of format for quizzing. But if you only take one attempt because you waited until 3 or 2 hours before the deadline to do that one attempt, then whatever score you get on that one attempt is all you get. There is no time limit on your attempts, meaning there's no tick, tick, tick of how fast you have to go through and put in your answers. But I can tell you right now that if you try to do that without actually using the question worksheets, it's going to be that much harder because they're shuffled. They're not in the same order they were on the question worksheet when they appear on the attempt. So if you are going to go into the attempt and say, oh, well, oh, that question, gee, where in the lecture notes was that? And you search for it in the lecture notes, it's going to take you so much longer than if you just use the question worksheets beforehand and find your answers before you actually go in to submit. Now, because of the fact that I do not have a tick, tick, tick when you're actually putting in your answers, there is no extra time, I'm sorry, for people who have accommodations. Okay, and I've talked with the AEC people about this, and they say, true, if the attempt itself does not have a clock ticking, then you have to work within, which I hope is enough time that I've given you, opening everything the very first of the term. Okay, just keep up with your deadlines. So that's what's going on for quizzes. Okay, I've said all that, blah, blah, blah. There's 4 web surfing assignment question worksheets. They'll be posted to Canvas, or, well, Monday, August 5th. I've already got them posted, right? On those worksheets, there's a website address that you can control click on, and it'll take you to a website. And then I've got questions about the content in that website, and they are in the same order as how they appear in the website. So you just go through, and it might be fill in the blank, and it might be multiple choice, and it might meaning that only one of them is right, and it might be multiple answer, which means that more than one of them are right. And if it is fill in the blank, then I'll say fill in the blank and however many words I expect you to give me back. If they're plural or not, I'll indicate that. Okay. If it's multiple choice, I'll say choose any and all that are apply or correct. If there's only 2 of them that are right, I'll say choose the 2 correct ones. If I don't say anything like that, that means only one of them is correct. And I think that Canvas actually makes a difference between squares and circles if it's more than one answer is correct on a multiple possible answer. Okay. Again, on the fill in the blanks, Canvas is very literal. You have to make sure that you have it spelled correctly. I think capitalization doesn't really matter. Even if it is the first word in a sentence, it doesn't matter. Okay. So as with the quizzes, the submission windows for all web surfing assignments open at 6 p.m. on Tuesday, August 6th, close when their deadlines are. And you can look that up further down in the course schedule or on those Excel sheets, the calendar sheets that are in the course information folder that have the deadlines on like a calendar page. Some people, that's easier for them to remember if they have that printed off and by their computer. Okay. Now the 13 mini projects, 4 of them are worth 1 point apiece and 9 of them are worth 2 points each. Now that might not seem like much, but if you add them all together, they are almost a quarter of your grade. They're 22% of the 100 points. They're keyed to certain lecture content, and I'll tell you exactly which lecture they're keyed to, or at least they'll be appearing on the Moodle modules, you know, with the content that they belong with. Okay. Now, if it's something where you have to add drawings of some kind, where you're going to be uploading, and I think there's only a couple of them that are like that you have to actually annotate the pictures that they've given you in some way, then you need to save it in either the Word document that it was or as a PDF. I do not have the ability. I have a PC. I don't have an Apple. I do not have the ability to open files that have been uploaded as anything but a Word document or a PDF or an Excel file, PowerPoint, right? It makes no sense to use Excel and PowerPoint in this case. So please save it as a PDF before you upload it, because if it's something that I can't open, then I can't grade it and you don't get any points for that, even if you did it correctly. If I can't see it, how do I know? Right? So you need to get something on your computer where you can annotate those, either, you know, print it off and mark it up by hand and then take a picture of it and put it back into your computer and then change it into a PDF and do it that way. for those two that need that done. I think it's 2, maybe 3. Okay? It has to be Word or PDF for me to be able to grade it. Now, if by chance you don't have the software that's going to enable you to do that, there's a whole bunch of different kinds of software that is available to you as a student at the U of O, and I've put this address here, this Service U Oregon, blah, 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 blah. Okay? So if you were to, go in there, you can ask for a ticket, and what it is you're making yourself an appointment to go in and see if hopefully your computer has enough memory that you can do this. If you are actually here in Oregon at the University of Oregon when you're taking this course, then there are computer labs that are open, and there's computers that you can use in both the science library and the night library that may very well have this, Word and ability to make a PDF. So it's up to you to make sure that you can put stuff in the manner that I can actually grade it. It's only a couple of them, so it's probably, I think, maybe 3 points total out of the whole term, but okay. And I do my slides, my lectures are done in PowerPoint. So you're going to either need PowerPoint or Google Slides or something like that, I think, in order to be able to access them. Okay, at least a portion, well, most of them I turned it into. You enter your answers into a quiz style format, meaning that the questions I ask on that mini project are going to be, you're going to go in and they're going to be in the very same order. You're going to, they're not going to be shuffled. You just go in and put your answers in, and then the system does the grading. And the same thing for the web surfing assignments. The questions I ask you are the very same number and the very same order as they are on the web surfing question worksheet. You just go in and put in your answers, and then the system does the grading. Okay? So, what else? I say here at the end here, make sure you keep up with the course content so that you don't miss this, I believe, easy way to get points, the mini projects. I will not be giving extensions on the mini project deadlines, except for very serious reasons, circumstances. You need to call me and let me know what it is that you can't seem to keep up with those guys. If you're looking at the lectures when you should be looking at them, you can print off or have them open on your computer when you're looking at the lectures. And as you find the content that goes with the questions, you can be filling them in as you go through the lectures. You don't have to wait until after you've done them, looked at all the lectures to look at those mini projects. I would suggest that you kind of work on them while you've got the lectures going and listening to them. Okay, so the rest of this is just the course schedule, where every week, okay, pretty much by Tuesday, everything will be posted. All the worksheets for everything done. The only thing I don't have built yet, and as actually it won't open until, I think, what did I say, Wednesday, is WebSurf 4. The website that I had used in the past for that was no longer available, and so I had to use a completely different set of websites. And so it'll, I need a little time to build that in the system, but it will be done by Wednesday, I believe, at 6 p.m. And that's WebSurf 4, which isn't, really, it's not due until what? Its due date is in week 6. So I think I can get away with a 2-day being late. Okay, so for every week, I'll post the lectures that I'll have posted. Again, PDF, PowerPoint with audio, with the accompanying study sheets for note taking if you want to use them. Then there's going to be activity deadlines. Okay, so the first one is the syllabus quiz will be open Wednesday this week, and then it'll close the next Monday at basically midnight, 11:59 p.m. And in fact, that's when everything closes on the day that it's due, is 11:59 p.m. And then that first week, we have these 2 first mini projects. Okay, I believe 1 is a enter as a quiz. I believe 2 is a upload. Okay, but it'll tell you when you go in there to do that. You'll see the difference if you click on it. Here's week 2. Again, what lectures am I going to post? Here's the activities. Okay. Week 3, and so on and so forth. The only difficulty I have is that the grades are due on Tuesday noon, the Tuesday after the 6-week term ends. And normally the quizzes end on Tuesday at 11:59, but I got to have the grades in by noon. So that last quiz, quiz 6, is due on Monday, the 16th at 11:59 p.m. so that I have enough time to add in those last scores and then get the grades in by noon on Tuesday. Okay. And at the very end of this, there's the web surfing assignments when they're due, the course content quizzes when they're due, and then the mini projects when they're due. All the worksheets for these are already up. It's just that the deadlines for when you can submit them, that's what varies. Okay. So I'm hoping that that helps you out. The PowerPoints, since they have audio on them, they are large files. And I'll be looking to, I mean, you need a little bit of oomph in your computer in order to be able to, because you have to download them or upload or whatever it is into your computer. You can't watch them through Canvas anymore. Because of people like me that were putting these huge files in there, they won't let you do that. So you might talk to those IT people about possibly increasing the amount of space, memory space you have in your computer. I don't know if they can do that or not, but it's worth a try. And again, if you have to go and use a computer at your local library or a friend's house that's got a bigger, better computer than you do, something like that. And maybe you have an older computer that doesn't have much oomph in it. Maybe there's a possibility that the IT people can loan you a laptop. I don't know. They did that all the time back during the pandemic, but I don't know if they do it anymore. Just you have to be able to open and look at those lecture notes. What I've done for the PDFs, they pretty much have a lot of the content that I added by voice on the PowerPoint, but not everything. And very, very often, if it's not on the PDF, I wouldn't test about it. I wouldn't put a question on a quiz about it. But, there's a lot of anecdotal kind of things I add that might make the content click a little bit better and you be able to, understand it a little bit better. But if you want to go ahead and just use the PDFs instead of watching, listening to the PowerPoints with audio, that's up to you. Okay, that's your decision to make for your own self. Well, I hope you have a good time learning about the ocean. I myself, as a kid, I grew up from the age of, about 9 is when we moved there to 200 feet from the Rocky Intertidal Beach on the West Sound embayment of Orcas Island, Washington, which is up in the Salmon Islands. And I've always loved the ocean, not only living next to the beach, but also watching Jacques Cousteau specials when I was a kid. I've always loved the ocean, and it's never worked out for me to actually since then been able to live at the ocean. My job has always been someplace else. But that's what I've been able to convey that enthusiasm, I think, to over 20 years worth of students that have taken my oceanography classes. So keep up with the deadlines. You have any difficulties, you got to let me know. Got to let me know. I'm not psychic. I wish I was, but I'm not. And just ask for a Zoom meeting if the 2 times I gave you don't work. Okay? Have a good summer.